Welcome back, everyone. Hi, I'm Sophie. I hope you're feeling comfortable right now, maybe with a cup of tea or coffee. Today feels like one of those quiet days where it's okay to slow down.
Hi, everyone. I'm Leo. It's really nice to be here with you again. I feel calm today, but also a little thoughtful. You know, those days when you look outside and think about your own life?
Yes, I know that feeling. Today we want to talk about something very simple, but also very deep. It's about those moments when someone asks, "How are you?" And we say, "I'm fine," but inside we are not fine at all.
Yeah, I think many of us do that. We smile, we say the words, and we move on. But inside, there is stress, sadness, or maybe just tiredness. This topic is very close to my heart.
Same for me. I remember saying "I'm fine" so many times, even when my chest felt heavy. It felt easier to say those words than to explain the truth. What about you?
I've done it too, many times. Sometimes I didn't even know how I really felt. And sometimes I knew, but I was scared to say it. And you?
I felt the same. That's why we wanted to talk about this today, in a soft and honest way. No pressure, no advice, just a real conversation.
If you're listening and you've ever said, "I'm fine," when you weren't, you're not alone. We're really glad you're here with us.
If this conversation feels helpful or comforting, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us, and it helps this space grow.
Thank you for being here. Let's talk. After the introduction, there is a short pause, like both of them are taking a breath together.
You know, Leo, I was thinking about the first time I noticed myself saying "I'm fine" without meaning it. It wasn't a big dramatic moment. It was very small. Someone at work asked me how I was, and the words came out automatically.
Yeah, like your mouth answers before your heart does.
Exactly! I smiled, I said it, and then I sat down at my desk and felt this strange emptiness. I thought, why didn't I tell the truth? But then I also thought, what is the truth right now?
That question is so real. Sometimes we are not sad, not happy, just tired or confused. And it feels strange to explain that to someone in a hallway or an elevator.
Yes, I didn't want to open something I couldn't close again in 5 minutes, so "I'm fine" felt safe. But later that day, it stayed with me. I felt like I had hidden a part of myself.
I relate to that a lot. For me, it often happened with friends. Good friends. They asked with care, but I still said, "I'm fine." And then I felt a little guilty.
Guilty? Yes. Like you are lying, but also protecting yourself at the same time.
Exactly. I remember one evening a friend called me and asked how my week was. I had a really hard week. Work stress, family things, no sleep, but I didn't want to sound weak. So I said, "It's okay, I'm fine." After the call, I felt very alone.
That loneliness after is something people don't talk about enough. On the outside, nothing is wrong, but inside it feels quiet in a painful way.
And sometimes, after saying "I'm fine" many times, you start to believe it a little. Or you try to.
Yes, you push your feelings down. You keep going. You tell yourself, others have bigger problems. But your body knows. Your heart knows.
For me, my body always tells the truth first. I get headaches, or I feel heavy when I wake up. But still, when someone asks, I smile.
Smiling is powerful, but it can also be a mask. I think many adults learn to wear it very well.
Especially between 20 and 40, I think. There is so much pressure to be okay, to have things under control,
to look strong.
Yes, social media doesn't help either. Everyone looks fine there. Happy, busy, successful.
And then you feel like the only one who isn't fine.
But we know that's not true. Still, in the moment, it feels true. That's why saying I'm fine becomes a habit.
A very easy habit. 2 words. No questions, no silence.
Silence can be scary. If you say, actually, I'm not doing well, there's a pause, and you don't know what comes next.
That pause feels like standing on the edge of something. You don't know if the other person will step closer or step back.
And sometimes you're just too tired to explain. You don't want to relive your feelings by talking about them.
That's true. Talking takes energy, and when you're already low, energy is limited.
So you choose the easy answer. But later, when you're alone, the feelings come back, stronger sometimes.
Yeah, at night especially, when everything is quiet.
That's when I often think, I wish I had said something. Not to everyone, just to one person.
One safe person.
Yes, someone who listens, not fixes.
I think that's very important. Sometimes we don't speak because we think we need a solution, but often we just need space.
Space to be honest, even if the honesty is messy.
Or unclear, like, I don't know what's wrong, but I'm not okay.
That sentence alone can feel like a relief.
It really can. Saying it out loud makes it more real, but also lighter.
But before we can say it, we need to feel allowed to not be fine.
That's hard. Many of us were taught to be strong, to keep going.
Yes, but strength can also be quiet honesty.
I'm still learning that, slowly.
Me too. And I think this learning starts with noticing the moment we say, I'm fine, without thinking.
Just noticing without judging ourselves.
Exactly. Just noticing.
That small awareness can change a lot over time.
It really can. You know, when I started noticing those moments, I also started asking myself why I was so quick to say I'm fine. And the answer wasn't simple. Sometimes it was fear, sometimes it was habit, sometimes it was just I didn't want to be a burden.
That word burden comes up a lot for me too. I often feel like if I share my feelings, I'm putting weight on someone else's shoulders, even when that person has never made me feel that way.
Yes, it's strange. The people around us often say, you can talk to me anytime. But when the time comes, our mind says, maybe not now, maybe later.
Maybe this is not important enough.
Exactly. I remember one weekend when everything felt too much. Small things made me tired. Noise, messages, plans. A friend asked me to meet, and I almost said yes. Then she asked, how are you really? And I froze.
That question changes everything.
It does. I smiled and said, I'm okay, just busy. And she looked at me for a second longer than usual, like she knew. That moment stayed with me all day.
Did you feel seen or uncomfortable?
Both. Part of me wanted to cry right there. Another part wanted to run away. I went home and felt angry with myself. Not at her, at me.
Because you didn't say what you felt?
Yes, I felt like I missed a chance. But at the same time, I understood myself. I wasn't ready. And I think that's important too.
That's very gentle thinking. We often expect ourselves to be brave all the time, but emotional bravery is not always loud.
Sometimes it's very quiet, like sitting with your feelings alone and admitting them to yourself.
For me, the struggle was different.
I often said I'm fine because I didn't want to open old wounds. I was afraid that if I started talking, I wouldn't stop.
Like opening a door and not knowing how to close it again.
Exactly. I had times when I shared too much too fast, and later I felt exposed. So after that, I learned to stay quiet.
That makes a lot of sense. Our past experiences teach us how to protect ourselves.
Yes, but sometimes those protections become walls. And after a while, you don't even know how to open a small window.
That image feels very real. Walls keep pain out, but they also keep warmth out.
And connection.
Connection is what we miss when we keep saying, I'm fine. On the surface, we are surrounded by people, but inside, we feel alone.
I felt that strongly during a period when my life looked good from the outside. Good job, social life, plans. People often said, "You're doing great." And I agreed. I said it too.
But inside?
Inside, I felt lost. I didn't know what I wanted anymore. I was tired of pretending that everything made sense.
That kind of tiredness is deep. Sleep doesn't fix it.
No, it doesn't. And the hardest part was that I didn't feel allowed to feel bad because nothing was wrong.
That's such an important point. Pain doesn't always need a clear reason.
But we often feel like we need one to talk about it.
Yes, like sadness needs permission.
And if you can't explain it clearly, you stay quiet.
I did that for a long time. I waited until I had the right words. But feelings don't always come with good sentences.
Sometimes they come as silence or tears without a story.
Oh, just a heavy feeling in your chest.
And when someone asks, what's wrong? You don't know where to start.
So you don't start at all.
Exactly. You say, I'm fine.
There was a time when I said it so often that I started believing it was my job to be fine, to be the calm one.
The strong one.
Yes, people came to me with their problems. I listened, I supported, but I didn't share mine.
How did that feel?
At first, it felt good, useful, needed, but slowly it became heavy. I felt invisible in my own pain.
That's a powerful sentence.
It took me a long time to admit that I also needed space to be weak.
I think many listeners will feel that, being the listener, not the speaker.
Yes, and when you're always fine, people stop asking deeper questions.
Because they trust your answer.
And that's not their fault.
No, it's a quiet agreement we make. They ask, we answer, and everyone moves on.
But inside, something stays unfinished.
Unsaid.
I once read that emotions that are not expressed don't disappear. They wait.
That feels true. They wait for a quiet moment or a small trigger.
A song, a smell, a memory.
Or a simple question from the right person.
Yes, and then suddenly everything comes out.
I had that experience. I was having coffee with someone I didn't know very well. They asked how I was, very casually, and for some reason, I answered honestly.
What did you say?
I said, actually, I'm not doing so well lately. My voice was calm, but my hands were shaking.
That takes courage.
It didn't feel like courage. It felt like I was tired of holding everything in. The person listened quietly. They didn't interrupt. They didn't give advice.
Just listening can feel like a gift.
It really did. After that conversation, nothing in my life changed right away, but I felt lighter.
Because you were seen.
Yes, and I realized something important. Saying I'm not fine doesn't mean you are broken. It just means you are human.
I love that. And it also doesn't mean you need fixing.
Exactly. Sometimes we just need understanding.
Or permission to feel what we feel.
I think that's where growth slowly starts.
Slowly is the key word.
Always slowly.
After that, I started to think more about what honesty really means in daily life. Not big confessions, just small, true answers, like saying, I'm a bit tired today, instead of, I'm fine.
That's such a gentle step, but it can feel big. I tried that too. At first, my voice felt strange when I said it, like I was breaking a rule.
Yes, like an unwritten rule. Be polite. Be okay. Don't make things uncomfortable.
But being honest doesn't always make things uncomfortable. Sometimes it makes them real.
I noticed that too. When I started sharing small truths, some people shared back. The conversations felt warmer.
More human.
Exactly. Not perfect, but real.
For me, one of the hardest parts was trusting that people wouldn't see me differently. I was afraid they would think I was weak.
Did that happen?
Not really. Some people didn't know what to say, and that was okay. Others surprised me with kindness, and a few, well, they changed the subject quickly.
That can hurt.
It did at first, but then I understood something. Not everyone has the space or tools to hold other people's feelings.
That's such an important realization. It's not always rejection. Sometimes it's limitation.
Yes, and once I saw it that way, I stopped taking it so personally.
That's growth.
Slow growth.
I had a similar experience with my family. With friends, it became easier over time. But with family, old roles come back.
Oh, yes. Family knows a version of you from long ago.
Exactly. I was always the calm one in my family. So when I finally said, I'm not okay, it felt like I was changing the story.
How did they react?
At first, with surprise, then with worry, and then with a lot of questions. Too many questions.
That can be overwhelming.
It was. I almost went back to saying I'm fine just to stop the questions, but I stayed with it. I said, I don't have all the answers. I just needed to say it.
That's very clear and very brave.
It didn't fix everything, but it changed something. They started to see me not just as a role, but as a person.
I think that's one of the quiet gifts of honesty. It allows others to know us better, even if it's uncomfortable at first.
And it allows us to know ourselves better, too.
Yes. When you say I'm fine all the time, you don't stop to ask yourself if it's true.
You stay on the surface.
But when you pause and check in, you start listening inward.
That inner listening is something I'm still learning. Sometimes I ask myself, how am I really? And I don't get an answer right away.
That's okay. Silence can be an answer too.
Yes, or a sign that something needs care.
I've learned to sit with that silence instead of running from it. Not always successfully, but more than before.
That's a big change.
It came with practice and also with kindness toward myself. I stopped getting angry at myself for not being okay.
That self-kindness is so important. We are often much harder on ourselves than on others.
If a friend said, I'm struggling, we would never say, just be fine.
But we say that to ourselves all the time.
Yes, we push ourselves to move on quickly.
I've started asking myself, what would I say to a friend right now? And then I try to say that to myself.
That's a beautiful practice.
It helps me soften. And when I'm softer with myself, it becomes easier to be honest with others.
I think honesty grows from safety, and safety often starts inside.
That's very true.
Another thing I learned is that honesty doesn't always mean telling everyone everything. It's about choosing carefully.
Yes, boundaries are part of honesty too.
I'm not ready to talk about it is also honest.
And powerful.
It gives you control over your story.
I wish more people knew that. You don't have to share everything to be real.
Just enough to breathe.
That's a lovely way to say it.
For me, the biggest shift happened when I stopped seeing "I'm fine" as a lie and started seeing it as a signal.
A signal?
Yes, a signal that something inside me needed attention. Instead of judging myself, I became curious.
Curiosity instead of judgment. That changes everything.
It does. When I notice myself saying I'm fine too quickly, I pause later and ask, what's really going on?
And what do you usually find?
Usually something simple. I'm tired, I feel pressure, I miss something. Naming it helps.
Naming brings clarity.
And clarity brings calm.
Not always happiness, but calm.
And calm is enough sometimes.
I think many of us are searching for permission. Permission to not be okay. Permission to take our time.
Permission to be human.
Yes!
And maybe this conversation can be that permission for someone listening.
I hope so, even if it's just a small feeling of, I'm not alone.
That small feeling can be very strong.
Strong enough to start a change. Always slowly. When I look back now, I see how much has changed, even though it happened quietly. I still say I'm fine sometimes, but it doesn't feel the same anymore.
I know what you mean. For me, those words used to be a wall. Now they feel more like a door I can choose to open later.
That choice makes a big difference. Before, it felt automatic. Now there is a small moment where I check in with myself.
That moment matters. Even if you still say "I'm fine" out loud, inside, you know the truth.
And knowing the truth changes how you treat yourself afterward.
Yes, you don't ignore your needs as much.
I started doing small things when I noticed I wasn't fine. Not big changes, just small care.
Like what?
Going for a quiet walk instead of scrolling on my phone. Saying no to plans when I feel empty. Letting myself rest without explaining it.
That sounds simple, but it's not always easy.
No, it's not. Sometimes I still feel guilty, but the guilt doesn't stay as long as it used to.
That's progress.
I think so too. I also learned that I don't always need to explain myself to everyone.
That took me a long time to learn too. You don't owe the world your full story.
Just honesty where it feels safe.
And patience where it doesn't.
Yes, I noticed that when I stopped forcing myself to be fine, my emotions became softer. Not easier, but softer.
That's a beautiful way to describe it. For me, emotions felt like something to fight before. Now they feel like something to listen to.
Listening changes the relationship.
It does. I don't panic as much when I feel low. I remind myself that feelings move. They don't stay forever.
That reminder is so important. When you're in the middle of it, it feels endless.
But looking back helps. You see that you survived other hard moments.
And that gives hope.
Quiet hope.
I like that. Quiet hope fits this topic.
I also think about how I talk to others now. When I ask, "How are you?" I try to really mean it.
Me too. And I try to leave space after the question.
Space invites honesty.
And if the answer is still I'm fine, that's okay too.
Yes, everyone opens at their own speed.
Sometimes just knowing that someone really asked is enough for that day.
I've had days like that too. Someone looked at me and really listened, even without words.
That kind of presence stays with you.
It does, and it reminds you that you don't have to carry everything alone.
I think that's one of the biggest lessons for me. I used to believe strength meant carrying things alone.
And Mao?
Now, I think strength also means letting yourself be seen, just a little.
I feel the same. Letting someone see the cracks doesn't make you weak. It makes you real.
And real connections grow there.
Yes, not perfect ones, but honest ones.
If someone listening right now is thinking, I say I'm fine all the time, I want them to know something. That it's okay. You're not doing something wrong. You learned that for a reason.
And you can unlearn it slowly, if and when you're ready.
There's no rush, no deadline for healing.
Just small moments of truth with yourself first.
And maybe one day with someone else.
I also want to say that being not fine doesn't mean your life is falling apart.
Sometimes it just means you're tired.
Or you've been strong for a long time.
And strength needs rest too.
Always.
I feel grateful we talked about this today.
Me too. It feels like putting something gently back where it belongs.
Yes, no fixing, just understanding.
And understanding creates space.
Space to breathe.
Space to be honest.
I'm not fine, or I'm getting there.
I don't know how I feel yet.
All of those are real answers.
And all of them are enough.
If you're listening and you're not fine today, we see you.
You don't have to change anything right now.
Just notice yourself.
And be kind to what you find.
We'll leave you with that.
Take care of yourselves.
And remember, you're allowed to be human.